For the first time ever, we see Rugby United New York, known as Rooney, take the field. And there in picture, Mike Petrie waving his arms. The captain leads out his sides for a memorial moment. These players will never forget. They take on the side from Canada, the Toronto Arrows.
And looking at the Rooney lineup coming up here, number 2, Dylan Forster, I have to highlight, has a big role to play today. Strong scrum and set piece from Toronto Arrows. Look for him to lead that. And then number 8, Ross Deakin, physical, confrontational carrier. Look for him to getting that go forward to get Rooney's attack going. And if we look at the backs, Brooklyn native, 9, Mike Petrie, 57 caps for the Eagles. That experience is going to be needed today to marshal his forwards in the right area of the field. And then number 15, Ben Foden, in the international, 34 caps for England. Look for him to marshal the backfield and be dangerous off the counter-attack.
Let's take a look at this Toronto lineup. They're bringing down some good teams. They have some players return. Andrew Quatrin, the hooker, explosive player. Watch for him to carry the ball. And really look at big Lucas Rumball at number 6. Captain of the Canadian national team, just returned from the America's Rugby Championship. He's going to be an inspiration for this Toronto pack. And in the backs, really keep an eye on Dan Moore. He's been an electric wing out on the left there, and he is going to try to bring that speed today in New York City. And he's joined by Gaston Mieres, the Uruguayan right wing. So they're going to have some speed on both sides out there. Great lineup.
Our referee for this clash is Scott Green. He lives in Austin, Texas, hails from New Zealand originally. He'll be in pink with the whistle in hand. These two sides ready for action, and this is the moment founder James Kennedy and his Major League Rugby franchise has been waiting for. Professional rugby is here in the Big Apple. Welcome to the East Coast battle. Kicking off will be Chris Martina on the right of your screen for New York, and Toronto in white receiving this on left. First touch of action comes down for the Toronto side, just outside their 22.
Hold here, mate.
They decide to keep it in hand. They roam up with their forwards. Andrew Ferguson, the scrum half, getting involved, 26 years young, and from Ontario. They pull it back into the 22, so they can't kick it directly out. Foden is back for this. Bounces up though, and it stays with Ross Deakin. First touch for New York with the man plays his rugby with Nyack before they became professional here with this side, and James Denise, 33 years old, lending his experience in the starting lineup tonight. Keep balling in hand through Will Leonard. Strong tackle coming in, and his opposite number, Spencer Jones, in there as well. Ripped it free. The Arrows advantage first, good attacking chance for them. They cut back in beautifully. Good strong contact as well coming in. Sam Malcolm gets himself involved. And now looking for the pass there. Giuseppe Dutoit, man born in Johannesburg, South Africa, before emigrating to Canada. Still on the same side. The Arrows' first meaningful possession in enemy territory. The captain, Lucas Rumball, we saw him feature for the Canadian side in the America's Rugby Championship in recent times. Good quick hands on the outside. Nice width from Dan Moore, one of the co-captains. Strong passage of play here from Aaron Carpenter's troops, and they've knocked that on. Fawcett has this. New York, off they go. Cahill Marsh puts it over the top. There's space there. Luke Hume is chasing. Hume, a late addition to the side. The ball wins the race into the touchline.
Ball in play for the first 2 minutes of this game. This is both of these teams. They've really come here to run this ball. You see their intent straight from the whistle.
Taking a look today at New York's keys to the match. Very big game for them today. Winning that territory battle. Have to play in the right areas of the field to be able to expose the weaknesses in Toronto's team. 2, dominate possession. This is an attack-based league. Teams that have the ball come out on top. And number 3, aggressive line speed and defense. Shut that Toronto defense offense down with pressure and line speed.
Rumball has this one at the back. The driving maul from the Arrows.
You find the 3, yep.
New York do their best to try halt this momentum. In there is Paddy Ryan. And a good short angle coming in yet again. Dutoit used. Just 23 years of age. Dummy thrown there over the halfway line. Ball has been spilt. But there was a penalty coming in, says referee again. So first chance here for the Arrows. Decision time.
Early penalty there for this New York team. You know, it's really been a battle to see who can push the other team as quickly as they can, and New York the first one to falter and give that up. And it's going to be a good opportunity here for this Toronto team to get something done.
12.
And if you're looking at the keys to the match for this Toronto team, really create that forward power. You've seen it already. They got Lucas Rumball. They have these players. They need to push around these really abrasive forwards of this New York team, as well as control the midfield. There's two great midfielders in that Rooney team that can move the ball wide. Giuseppe Dutoy really has to make this happen in the midfield and then release that outside speed that we talked about before. You got Moore, you have Mieres. They got to get those guys loose and give them some room to run.
First opportunity now for scoring points in this game. Sam Malcolm lines this one up just inside the half. Malcolm from Wanganui in New Zealand has been quality for this Arrows side. Nice looking strike from the fluff. He raises the flags. It's 3-0 to Toronto after 4 minutes, and scorer Malcolm gets his name on the board.
He's just been a huge part of this Toronto team. You know, he has been moving the ball forward, played in all 6 games, and he's really key to keeping this team moving.
Yeah, impressive kick there. It just shows it's a warning shot to Rooney. Discipline is key today. Can't give away penalties in kicking range or they're going to hurt on the scoreboard.
Just waiting for a ball that gets brought in. This stadium, home of course to the Brooklyn Cyclones here in Coney Island. They're affiliated with the New York Mets. Minor League Baseball side, a capacity of 7,000. And we know that a lot of fans have come in from all over New York and the surrounding boroughs as well. Bit of traffic in the local area. We've got a few texts from folks saying, please, can you stop the game? No, we'll continue until you get here. It's 3-0, but only 5 minutes gone in this clash.
I'm sure they'll get to enjoy some of it when they get here. It's not going to be a problem.
8 home games for each of these sides with the extended season now. And of course, 2 extra teams. These are the 2 expansion teams. Now 9 playing in the league. 3 more will be added next year. Toronto just outside their 22. Rumble.
Pass back. White hold.
They've got to keep this kick infield of play because it's passed back. So Malcolm does well with this and bounces once. Confusion amongst the New York back 3. And in the end, quality kick from the Arrows.
Unlucky bounce there for Rooney, just couldn't quite time it, and that is great field position for the Toronto Arrows. You know, Rooney have to play out of the half now. It gives Toronto full license to pressure them. Any mistakes here are really exemplified by the field territory they're in right now.
We come now, Blue.
Dylan Fawcett debuted in 2018 with the US Eagles, the national side. 8 appearances for them. He goes to John Quill, one of his teammates in that national setup.
Steven, no.
Quill, also one of the players that played against Canada last week in Seattle.
Use
America's Rugby Championship competition.
Back 9.
So referee Green said they've told to play the ball. So
Use it now, 9. Use it now.
Look to want to dig this one out. It's
9,
still there.
Get the ball out now.
Told to get it out, they'll lose it. And they have lost it. And good clear communication from the referee on that occasion as well.
Good work by that Toronto Arrows team there to really get in there and slow that down and really force a turnover there on the New York team. They're going to have to sort that out going forward.
Yeah, exactly. New York need to exit from the half. Don't want to be camped down here. Tremendous pressure from Toronto there. In a maul, if you trap that ball in, as it goes to ground, you don't have to release. Therefore, Toronto get the scrum and a great attacking platform in New York's half.
First scrum we see looking to feed here is Andrew Ferguson, the halfback. Up front we got Rob Brower, Andrew Quatrin and Morgan Mitchell for the Arrows. They're up against James Rochford, Dylan Fawcett and Paddy Ryan, all experienced campaigners.
Here we go.
Rob Brower, 36 years old, 94 days.
He was the oldest player ever to gain a Canadian cap, got to play for his national team.
Yes.
Rob Brower.
That's right, 33 years old, 72 days.
Crowd.
And so if you're watching this game and you're in your 30s, get back on the field if you want to. This man can do it, and he's showing us how it's done. Pressure time at scrum.
6.
Set piece so vital. And they drop down.
Just a slip there on the fit. Referee's not happy. He resets it. This is a competitive restart of the game. A big 8-on-8 tussle. First, you've got to push your opposition off the ball to win it to attack, and it's such a good attacking platform as well because all your forwards are tied into their space around the field. If you take a look at the replay here, little bit of foot movement once the ball's in. Sometimes you've got to keep nice and steady. If you chase your feet too much or you leave your feet behind by an extra step, that can cause a slip there.
Arrows get another chance to set the scrum.
Wait. Wait.
They go down yet again.
Way too much movement at that scrum. Referee not putting the ball in because the rule states it has to be square and steady before the ball comes in. Both teams guilty of pushing there. Therefore, the ball goes down, the scrum goes down because the ball wasn't in yet, and the referee has to reset it again. He wants to send a clear message for both teams here that, you know, he's not messing around. You've got to do what he says, and hopefully we get a good platform to play from.
And we do have some wily front rows on both those sides, lots of experience, so they're trying a little gamesmanship there to really knock that other team off balance a little bit. This is going to be a key area of the game. Whoever wins this battle is going to go a long way towards the mental capacity to come out on top.
Well, you're right. There's a lot that goes on there that we don't know about. And there again, they collapse. So referee Green forced to give a free kick to the Arrows. And they tap and go quickly. Away they crash it upfield. Detroit goes inside the 22. The Arrows. The exit strategy has been fairly successful so far to the forwards. And then they give a big kick downfield to Malcolm. Here it goes. Carbon copy. This one goes down the middle. Ben Foden is there. The experience of Foden now for a counter-attack. Foden has a crack himself. Beautiful open space. Kicks through. He was tackled as he kicked this. But offside advantage. So a chance finally for the New York team.
Finally get a chance to see Ben Foden, what he does best there, marshalling that backfield, gets the ball on the counter-attack, looks oh so dangerous, and now it's Rooney's time to have a shot at goal or have an opportunity here with the penalty in their half.
And if you look the way Toronto was playing, they were keeping that ball really tight. Big groups of players just smashing, going in, hitting it with everything they got. The first time they kicked to Ben Foden, those dangerous outside backs in New York, they're on the run, so that's something they're going to want to avoid.
And here is the man Foden right now, and he's opting to go for the sideline. Interesting tactic. Means they want to keep ball in hand and play a bit of rugby.
Yeah, I think there's probably a little bit of an urgency out there. 6 points down. They finally get an opportunity down there. They're backing their forward pack to give them a good platform, either to be direct and take them on or create space for the backs out wide.
In this, watch for Dylan Fawcett, number 2, to put that ball in and wind up at the tail of the maul, really the whole forward pack driving forward. That's a place that he loves to be.
Let's see what they get up to here. Forwards coach Kiss Lensing looks on, as well as Tiff Fahey and Mike Talcon, the head coach. Here they go to the middle pod. Quill gets involved. It's a drive from the New York side. All the way flying in from the inside center. Will Leonard comes in to help his forwards out. They're driving for the line right now. This is the home team. The ball's at the back with Fawcett. He's over the line. Opening try belongs to New York. And of course it's the butcher, Dylan Fawcett, that gets a slice here on Coney Island.
Seems like a pretty good prediction, I'd say.
Took the opportunity there and the decision was justified. Man, did they get that maul going. Really impressive display from the forwards there. That's a statement from Rooney that just like Toronto couldn't give kickable penalties away, you can't give penalties away to this Rooney pack to have that opportunity.
Take another look at it here as you see those forwards just barreling their way in there. Toronto had no answer for him, and Dylan Fawcett at the back, no problem touching that down. He is an active player. He's a nuisance around the field to the other team, and he, like I said, loves to be in that position.
Fantastic strike back from the home side. And of course, they mean business. Dylan Fawcett played with the US Eagles, as we mentioned. He's been a player that has played all over. Was in the Glendale Raptors frame for a little while until professional rugby got set up here in 2019. Important conversion as well for Matina. 5-3 the score. This for the extra 2. He chips this one towards the uprights. It curls and it's in. 7-6, in fact, the score. And it's New York that take a slender 1-point lead.
Just like that, New York strike back. The best way to answer that 6-point deficit they were in there, and really impressive kick there from Matina in these conditions as well.
Toronto Arrows play their 7th consecutive away game. They'll have 8 away and 8 at home as Matina catches this one and sets the try score away. Fawcett into the thick of things. Marsh and Foden hang back for a potential kick downfield. But it's Petrie, the scrum off. Puts it down to the Arrows as Matina follows up. Ball is still there and it's good take and from Dan Moore getting involved as well, and there was Gaston Miraz. Behind the back ball to Trois. Sits it through to Spencer Jones.
Okay, off the ball, thank you.
Rumble tries to get on the outside. Does well, does the Queen's University product. Big physical contact. Morgan Mitchell, 25-year-old from Gore in New Zealand. East side, still on the front foot to Trois. Ball over the top. And a massive collision, big bump. If you can't sidestep your way through, just drop the shoulder. So it's the Arrows. They get forward momentum. They keep the ball wide. Detroit, quick hands from Moore. Good solid contact in midfield. Trying to stop progression there is Mark O'Keefe. Last week's MLR Player of the Week. Still the men in white. Surge forward. Jack Ney represented England under 20. Clever play to the right-hand side.
Over the shoulder there, high,
and then high tackle. Advantage for the Canadians. This one goes loose, and so they're going to come back to referee Green.
13. High tackle, 13 blue.
Let's go down to Matt, who has something on Connor Wallace-Sims.
Yeah, hey guys. Connor Wallace-Sims tweaked his quad in the warm-up, so Luke Hume stepped in. And keep an eye on Luke because he's been out with a hamstring issue for quite some time. So this is something they didn't anticipate. Luke Hume is certainly qualified as a World Cup, as a Eagle in 7s and 15s, but keep an eye on that hamstring. That could be an impact later on.
And players like Luke Hume just add something to these teams. Major League Rugby is fairly new. This is its second year, and players with that kind of experience just make players around them better and really improve the quality of play. So Luke Hume could have a big night tonight.
Well, Luke Hume recently became a father, and he didn't expect to be starting this game, and there he is making history in the number 11 jersey. But it's Toronto that are back on attack. Trail by 1 point. Ball to the front they go. Mike Shepherd involved there with Cellini. Moore surges forward.
That's a tackle.
Now finally they hit the deck. Jack Ney is in there as well.
You're off the ball too.
Well inside the 22. The Arrows building the phases. 2 penalties so far they've scored.
Yeah, you're fine, mate.
Slow ball, so they get something set up.
Step, everyone,
Lazo
step.
is in there as well.
Thank you. Good one.
Rumble helps out.
You're onside, boys.
Now they switch to the right-hand side. Forwards piling in, getting forward momentum right underneath the poles. Backs coming in to help out as well. Giuseppe Detroit. Rumble, so active around the fringes. That's why he captains Canada. Bodies everywhere. Rugby United New York claiming for a penalty, but it stays with the man in white. New York asked to make tackle after tackle inside the red zone. Just a few meters away.
Yep.
Now finally they go to the backs. Ball wide. Hume gets involved. That's a tackle. But let's have a listen to see what referee Green has to say. It was dangerous out wide.
I think that was really Hume's only option there. There was another player out there. If he didn't get in to try to get that ball, it was a sure try. So we will see what the referee says.
Deliberate knock.
There, that is an illegal knockdown there. You cannot knock the ball forward in that tackle there. Rooney exposed on the edges wide. Hume knew that. He had to roll the dice there and try and shut that ball down. It looks like illegally. Referees are discussing it now, but probably minimum a penalty here right now. Rooney really exposed by the ball retention of Toronto and keeping it tight there. Put someone like Luke Hume under a lot of pressure, and it's a tough call out for the referee.
Very fortunate for Luke Hume. The referee called it just a knock-on, not an intentional knock-on, which would have been a penalty. So they're going to come back and they're going to have a scrum here.
Come back here for a not rolling penalty. Stay on the line.
Excuse me, they're going to go back to a penalty for not rolling away against New York.
You must roll away.
Yes, the referee deemed Luke Hume was in the act of the tackle there, knocked the ball forward. Therefore, it was accidental, not deliberate, and that is a lifeline. But now the penalty here goes back there, and now Toronto opting for a scrum, backing their attacking platform here. It's 8 on 8. It sucks the forwards into one small space of the field that leaves lots of space out wide for the backs to attack. It's a really big platform and opportunity for them there.
Big moment for that front row. Rob Brower, Andrew Quatchen and Morgan Mitchell. They've got to keep things steady here. We saw the last scrum collapse a couple of times. But as you mentioned, Corbs, options right and left. They have a dangerous back line. And don't forget Jack Ney at the back as well. Man who play with the Saracens and Bedford Blues in England. Ball comes out to him, he picks. Gets the first tackler to the ground. In their range with Rumble. Toronto keep it tight.
Tackle! Last thing, Stephen, hands up.
Working metre by metre. So close to the line, they're over. Is this held up? Referee Green was right there in a perfect position. Held up is the call. New York underneath that superbly.
Okay, guys.
New York under big pressure there. Toronto were able to actually cross the line with the ball, going for the try, but New York's defense was able to hold that ball up, not allow them to put it down, and that for it resets to the 5-meter scrum.
And it's time now for a short break. We'll be right back. It's New York that lead Toronto by 7 points to 6 after 20 minutes here in Brooklyn, New York.
Fucking look.
7-6 to score in this historic clash here in the Big Apple. And it's the home side that have scored a try by the Butcher, Dylan Fawcett. 2 penalties by Sam Malcolm keep his side in. And of course, big moment here for the Vancouver, the men from Toronto, in fact.
Huge opportunity for Toronto to strike back here. They've been camped down in Rooney's half, holding on to the ball, inching their way close to the line. They now have a 5-meter scrum, a big attacking platform after getting held up over the line. Rooney are going to really look to try and turn this over and relieve pressure, but Toronto are going to be physical, direct, I think, like they've been so far, and look to cross that white line.
I mean, they're really, like you said, they're trying to get in there and just trying to blow the psyche of this New York team. It'd be a big moment if they could push over and get this try. Just going into the second part of this first half. This would be a great set of points for this Toronto team. And New York, on the other hand, really has to try to hold this up.
Yeah, New York fired the first shot in the forwards with that maul getting over the line. This is Toronto's response. There's a lot of bravado in the forwards. It's a big macho test, and I think they're both laying the challenge down to each other, and really exciting to see.
And of course, this is a Toronto side that had a marvelous win last week against the San Diego Legion, coming down trailing by 19 points. They beat the Legion 27-20.
Bind. Sit.
The scrum goes down yet again, but it's a free kick.
Referee not happy what he's seeing on that far side. We haven't had many square and steady scrums to play from. He's just going to blow his whistle to try and encourage them to be there. He's not happy with the prop's elbow, saying it's too low. He needs that elbow up to show a good picture to the referee that you can see both sides of the scrum are trying to keep it up and keep a good contest. Toronto have opted to scrum again here. They smell blood in the water. They're looking to expose a weakness at Rooney. 1 or 2 more infringements, and the referee could be making the decision on a yellow card.
And you heard the referee there say, don't do this again. This happens again in New York, it's going to be a full penalty. So they really have to hold it here and hold stable, and that gives extra added incentive to this Toronto team to be really powerful here.
Ferguson feeds this one.
Use it.
They pop this one up.
Looked to be a good scrum from Toronto there. The referee said use it. That means you have to play the ball from the back. He's deemed that it's not going forward. Toronto tried to keep it in there. As it sort of wheeled round, deemed unplayable, the referee's going to reset it here. But this is a big contest right now. Camp down 5 meters from your line. Constant resets. You know, it sucks the wind out of these forwards. It gets more tiring each scrum you get to. Both teams now taking a lot of energy in this battle here.
Toronto aside, 6th place, New York in 5th, but of course we said earlier, a win tonight for either of these sides will propel them into the top 3 positions. Starts here. 15 minutes to go in the first half, 7-6 the score. It's the men in white, the visitors.
Steady.
Jack Nair has it at the back. Been told to use it, he picks. 5 meters out.
No, 6.
Toronto pushing in with their forwards, hammering in, using their pods.
Penny, step. Thank you. Last book. Yeah.
Again, they keep it tight. Ferguson, the scrum half, waits. He's got his backs with Malcolm waiting. Nay goes high. Martinez even in there as well. The right wing looking for work amongst the forwards.
You're fine.
Ferguson brings it into midfield. New York so far reacting really well. Sustained pressure.
Right, thank you.
Rumble at a standing start. He's met by Ross Deacon. Then the ball spits free. It's opportunity here. They're over the line. He's dotted it down. Andrew Ferguson gets the first try for the Toronto side and he'll put them ahead.
All that pressure, all that field position finally paying off for Toronto there, using the big forwards, getting it physical on the right side of the physical exchange is a really well-worked try.
Yeah, they're just trying to draw them in and open up that outside space. They've really been playing that tight power game so far in this half, and that was just a little time where the New York defense contracted just a little bit too much, gave them some room on the outside, and they got the reward for it.
It's quite windy out there. I think, you know, they're trying to keep it very tight, very direct, not risk spilling the ball. They've been able to maintain possession, and that possession is turning into pressure, which is now turning into points.
And Toronto really needs to use that win in this half because it's going to be New York's in the second half. It's going to be going down to New York's going to be coming the other way. They'll have the win at their backs. They'll be able to play a little bit more in the Toronto end of the field.
Sam Malcolm lines up the conversion in line with where the try was scored by Andrew Ferguson. Looking to extend the lead. He turns. It stays to the side, so 11-7 the score. Let's go now field side to see what Matt has for us.
Yeah, guys, a couple of developments in the injury department. You just saw Sam Malcolm miss the kick, the conversion for Toronto. His counterpart, Cathal Marsh, the stellar Irish fly half for Rooney, is out. He tweaked the groin on a kick, and as a 10, you need to be able to kick. So as a result, Chris Mattina has moved to fly half. Gavin Demore Morrison is in on the wing. And now Rooney is testing their reserves and their game plan as per injuries.
Thank you very much for that. Important change there, of course, the pivotal role. So it's a restart taken here by the Toronto Arrows. Miraz getting involved early. Big contact on Jack Nair. Of course, Gavin Demore Morrison wasn't in the 23 initially, but with Connor Wallace-Sims injured in the warm-up, changes were made by Mark Tolkien for his troops. Malcolm exit strategy towards Foden. Last time he had a beautiful counter-attack. Ben Foden yet again. The English international gets to the first gap, and the offload is beautiful. It's still available. Wonderful work back on the inside. Here they go, James Denise. Excellent support. Mark O'Keefe was involved there as well. Now they range up into this one. Ball hits the deck, and Petrie looks to clean up, but it was knocked on initially.
Another kick to Foden, another big return. That team's going. He gets his 2 centers involved. Leonard and O'Keefe, they made some ground. Really good run there. James Denise, always around the ball, always there to clean that up.
New York looking very dangerous on the counter-attack there, making sure Toronto now feel they have to kick very smart. They can't keep giving Rooney easy entries into their half. Unfortunate for Rooney, though, they spilt the ball, giving Toronto a relief of pressure, but that was another warning shot, and that's what we need to see more of from Rooney in this match.
We saw them cut loose last week against the Utah Warriors. They won 47-21, did New York. They took out the Sabercats a week before 35-8. They're a team that knows how to score points. And coming to this game, New York had scored 155, the same as Toronto, but with the game short. So inside the 22, Toronto. Stable platform for Ferguson to work with. He pops this one towards the touchline. And it will be a line-up for New York.
Good pressure from Rooney there, making it hard for Toronto to exit that half, putting pressure on the kick there, getting the attacking line out inside Toronto's half, and this is where they want to play. They've been camped down in their own half for long periods of this game. Now they have a big opportunity.
And those centers we talked about, Leonard and O'Keefe, they haven't done much yet this game. This is an opportunity for them right here. Get the ball in the midfield, show the power and creativity that those two bring to this game.
Fawcett, 28-year-old from Wexford, Ireland. He's on the money. Brakely has this. Fawcett still binding at the back as the ball drives ahead.
Last beat, boys.
Near the 22, Petrie peels away with this one. They go in midfield, Leonard. Fawcett looping around. New York hasn't had much possession in enemy territory. Now they take it with John Quill. 33 caps for the USA Eagles. Martina at first receiver. For O'Keefe. Takes on 2 tacklers himself. Rumble does well, he's one of them. And now they go, James Rochford. Martina spots space out for Leonard. Toronto do well defensively so far, still outside the 22, but they have advantage to New York. Another decision time yet again for them.
Not rolling away there being the penalty. Toronto getting stuck on the wrong side of the ball, stopping New York from getting the ball out of that ruck. But that's more what we want to see from New York, holding on to possession in Toronto's half. Martina with a big responsibility at fly half now. He has to be the general out there and steer the ship, and so far he's doing a good job of that. And Rooney opting to kick to the corner again. Looks like they're going to back their driving more. It was really impressive again off that last one. Toronto have to have a good job at actually trying to stop it before it gets set, because once Rooney get this maul set, John, it seems to be game over for them.
Dylan Fawcett certainly loves to be at the back of that, and I would look for that again. I mean, that's, we said, his favorite place to be. He's going to get his hands on this ball. They're going to try to drive it in again and kind of chuck down that score line. The thing for me on that last series was all the runners that got their hands on the ball for that New York team. They have big, powerful runners across the field. Rochford ran, Quill ran, both centers ran. They're hitting this thing really hard, and they're moving it around. That's the glimpse we want to see.
Into the last 10 minutes of the first half we go. That line-out, though, didn't look straight. It wasn't. So a sigh of relief for the Toronto side.
Costly error there for New York. Very uncharacteristic of Dylan Fawcett as well. A great thrower at the lineup, but it must be windy out there. Just chucks away an opportunity there for Rooney to get back on the scoreboard. Relieves a little bit of pressure. Now Rooney are going to look to try and make it hard for Toronto to exit from their half again and hopefully get the ball back from an error.
I think the Butcher just got a little bit ahead of himself right there. He was thinking about crossing that whitewash before he was thinking about getting that ball in straight. Happens from time to time. But they'll have another opportunity, like you said, Corbs, to put him under some serious pressure right here.
Exactly. Hopefully it's going to be another big tussle at scrum time here. We've had a lot of resets.
I'm going to free kick you.
Referee trying to let both sides know he doesn't want any messing around.
Here we go, boys.
He's had multiple free kick infringements. He's gone to a penalty for a few. He just wants a good contest and get the ball away so we can see some running rugby.
And he's just warned the Toronto side there on that occasion.
Keep it out.
The attacking team. New York have the advantage here. They trail by 4 points. Look up front for James Rochford.
Bind!
Played with the Munster side in Pro 14.
Keep it up, boys. Keep it up.
Arrows going back. They do get the penalty, though.
Big shunt from New York, but you
field.
have to push square and steady. The referee deeming them sliding up round the side there. That is not legal scrummaging. The referee penalising New York there. Tough call for New York, because they started to go forward, but really have to make sure you stay nice and square.
This one goes into touch. Well, let's go down for conditions with Matt.
Yeah, hey guys, you know, this is a baseball stadium. It's where rugby and baseball collide. It's an open-ended stadium on the Atlantic Ocean. The wind is blowing in. If you're a pitcher, you'd love it. Toronto has the wind at their backs, but we've also got a lightning possibility. If there is indeed lightning, we will go into the shed for 30 minutes, come back out. If there's another lightning, another 30 minutes. But right now, the wind is at the back of the Arrows, and that's an important thing right going forward. Back to you.
Thank you for that, Matt. Arrows have possession. Just hope the lightning stays away for the players' sake and the fans. But stiff breeze indeed. Ball into the contact zone. Breakley involved there on the defensive side. So Maul set for the Canadian side. Ball finally goes to ground. A defensive effort from New York, and they'll get the ball back because it was not playable.
Tremendous work there from New York. What you saw is Toronto bring that ball in, and they had to reproduce it. They had to bring it back out. New York able to hold it in, let them get it back out to their team. They're going to get the put in at this scrum. That is a great play by all the forwards on this New York team.
Yeah, the key is there. Once you find that ball in the Mauler's defensive side, you really try and trap it in. It's not like a normal tackle. You don't have to release when it goes on the floor, and you get possession back. Really smart play from the forwards, and now Rooney get another attacking opportunity inside Toronto's half.
And John, just switching a little bit to the community work that this New York side has been doing to activate folks around. They have a partnership with the NYPD as well as the FDNY, and that really is phenomenal, you know, getting those folks involved in the game.
Both the fire department and the police department here in New York have a long history of rugby. They've been playing, they play a big match every year for charity, and they all play in teams around the area. So they are partnering with Rugby United New York, and they're going to, interchange at some different events here and there, but certainly the police and fire community are a big part of the fan base here.
That's right. May 11th, when Seattle come to town, they're going to have a match prior to the kickoff for the New York game, and that is wonderful to see as Petrie looks to try feed this. And again, the scrum woes continue, Alex.
Another reset here. Referee's going to give them probably a final warning on both sides here. A lot of it to me is too much movement before the ball's in. The rules say it has to be square and steady. I think the referee has to police no team trying to get the little one up on each other before the comes in, get a good solid engage, let it settle, put the ball in, then have a contest. I think we're contesting too soon, but you know, it's easy for us to say that here. When you're out there and you're in the moment, you don't want to give an inch to your opposition.
I got to give the referee points for patience, though. He's taking these teams, he's instructing them. You know, he wants to get it set rather than just go to the penalties really quickly.
Come stand here. Okay, here we go, boys. Well done. Don't move off the mark. Still it. Down. Here we go.
If you look here, it's these extra movements before the ball comes in. Both teams need to realize we need it square and steady here. That's what we're getting wrong here. If both teams just park their egos, let that ball come in, then take their steps, I think we'll see a good contest.
6.
5 minutes to go in the first half. Still 4 points in this game. Petrie gets us one in. Good shove from the Toronto side, but it's with Matina. He attacks the line and goes wide. Nice ball on the outside to O'Keefe. O'Keefe gets over the advantage line. Deacon getting involved, and in there is Gavin Demore Morrison. Still with Cassidy. O'Keefe, good bump as well. New York have the advantage. Breakley in there as well. Matina goes back to Foden. The fullback joins the line. And there's no advantage coming, so they're coming back to the penalty for the New York side.
Let's go back and talk about the two centers there in Will Leonard and Mark O'Keefe. Will Leonard is a line breaker. He makes a lot of line breaks for this New York team. But you saw a couple times in that movement, Mark O'Keefe, he's a tackle breaker. He comes through, he's broken a number of tackles so far this season and really scored a couple tries last week that are fantastic. But you put that double punch of those guys in there and they can really push this Toronto defense.
Yeah, when you saw that team selection, you saw those two centers lying up together, you knew New York's game plan was going to be physical, going to be direct. They're both go-forward runners here. They've earned themselves the penalty, Rooney. Now they kick the corner through Foden again. It's another opportunity. Last time they spoiled it with a not straight. I'm sure Fawcett won't do that again, and it's a big opportunity for Rooney to get out there again.
Fawcett ready for this one. Coaches at Monroe College in New York, as well as Fordham Prep.
Yeah, you're good. Hold there.
Gets the next generation of players coming through. The hooker goes to the middle. To better throw and better take. The maul is set right now. James Denise helps out there as
No,
Butcher has it at the back. Nate told to get out of that one.
Same more.
They're surging forward. Petrie tells his forwards to get involved. And in comes Will Leonard, the backline player helping out his forward pack. New York have another advantage. Petrie dishes it out.
Advantage. Mike.
O'Keefe stepping for the line. Brave tackle. And then slap back on. New York with Petrie.
No mark.
Goes quickly. No mark is there. They've got to come to where the error happened.
I was surprised there. I thought Petrie was going to go quickly. He's such a smooth, controlled player. He makes everything happen around him. It would have been uncharacteristic for him to go quick right there.
Yeah, I think they know they've got this Toronto team on the ropes there. You know, another good maul, another dominant forward display. They're going to try and break the backs, break the morale of this Toronto side and flex their muscle down there. It's another big opportunity to make sure you win the ball, get it set. But New York's maul is looking very dangerous.
Make sure we come from the last foot, boys, when you enter.
Big moment in the game. And minutes ago in the first half, a try to put them ahead.
You've got to step and set.
They've got to keep the gap in the lineup.
Hold on, boys.
Fawcett, the vice captain of the side.
39.
Go to the tail. Breakley receives this one.
Some more.
Now they set them all. Looking for try number 2. The boys are back in town. It's number 2 for Dylan Fawcett and his side. Go ahead. New York back in this.
That is what we call an armchair ride. Literally sitting at the back there, his big boys in front, doing all the hard work, getting that going forward, and all he has to do there is drop over the line. A really well worked try by New York there, and a credit to their whole forward pack there. Force it with the try, but big full 8 effort there.
In the larger sense of this game, that is an enormous moment. New York has just taken a lead on the scoreboard. There's barely any time left in this first half. They're going to switch sides at halftime so they have the wind at their back. They're going to be able to play down in the Toronto territory. That could be a very, very big moment for New York.
Is that game changing? Once you get the maul moving forward like that, the ball safely at the back, there is no stopping that. The only way would be to illegally. Toronto don't infringe there. They don't want to risk a yellow card or a penalty try, and a really well worked try there from New York. Did everything well at that maul, got it set, got the ball to the back, and what a pivotal moment in the game to get that score.
And Chris Mattina here to take this kick. He stepped in at fly half. Cahal Marsh is out. But we have to remember, last week he was phenomenal. He stepped in for Marsh in the snow against Utah. So this is a great player and a local boy.
Much better conditions here. The extra 2 stays to the side, but they have that important lead, and of course the forward pack doing the damage. And that brings us the halftime whistle. 2 tries to 1, 2 by Dylan Fawcett and 1 by Andrew Ferguson. And it's the home side. They come back strongly, and let's go down to Matt, who's with Nate Breakley right now.
Hey guys, Nate Breakley, you guys are a little bit injured. You're a little bit banged up right now. You got to hold the fort. You have a lead though. What do you guys have to do differently in the second half?
We just got to get the ball. I mean, every time we've had the ball, we've made great inroads, but so far they've probably had 75% possession.
How are you feeling? You just come back from playing with the Eagles.
It's great to be back in New York City. First run out here, it's something real special.
All right, good luck in the second half. I know you're busy. Thanks, man. Back to you guys.
Well, after 40 minutes, it's New York who lead Toronto by a score of 12 points to 11 in Week 8 of Major League Rugby. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll return with highlights from MCU Park in Brooklyn, New York. Stay with us, rugby fans. Plenty more of action to come here in this historical fixture. It's New York that lead 12-11 at the break against Toronto here at MCU Park in New York. 3 tries scored in the first half, and let's take a look at his highlights.
Toronto were camped down in Rooney's half. Rooney giving away penalties. That got the boot of Sam Malcolm going. 2 penalties took them to a 6-0 lead.
Rooney came back, however, and they could have taken the opportunity to kick for goal and cut down the points, but Dylan Fawcett had other ideas as he crashes over for a big try right there.
And then again, big pressure from Toronto down in Rooney's half. This was a big call by the referee. Was it an intentional knock-on? He deemed no. But then the number 9, Andrew Ferguson, getting the try there, taking Toronto into the league again.
And here is the second try from Dylan Fawcett. Same idea, other side of the field. He got at the back of that maul and just drove it in. Tremendous work by this forward pack.
And we'll have more for you from New York City under the lights, where New York lead Toronto by a score of 12-11 after 40 minutes of action. Stay with us. It's New York that lead the Toronto Arrows by 1 point at halftime here in the Big Apple. Kim Orst-Howell at his sideline. And what are the scenes like down there, Kim?
The scenes are fantastic, epic in fact. I can tell you now that New Yorkers definitely know their rugby. And speaking to a few of them, their fan favourites are Mike Petrie and Mike St. Clair. They're looking forward to a great second half, tight first half, so let's hope Rugby United can bring it home. Thanks, guys.
Awesome, thanks, Kim. We're going to take another short break, and when we come back, second half action from MCU Park in Brooklyn, New York. It's New York 12, Toronto 11. A warm welcome to you for this historic opening clash at MCU Park in Brooklyn, New York, where the home side lead 12-11 against the Toronto Arrows in Week 8 of the 2019 Major League Rugby season. I'm Dallin Stanford, joining commentary by John Broker and Alex Corbaciro.
Taking a look at Rooney's reserve, some impact off the bench. Look for number 18, Anthony Parry. Big physical forward, big ball carrier, and to make an impact in the scrum, which has been a little bit unshaken for Rooney. And then number 22, Mike Sinclair, a very exciting player to watch. He's got some of the most electric feet and footwork in the game, and he's a try scorer in the making, so look out for him to come on and set this game alight.
And if you're looking at the reserves here for this Toronto team, Stephen Ng, he is coming in at number 16 at some point, another explosive player, very well regarded in the terms of his rugby future. But the big one is Cole Keith. Cole Keith, an experienced prop. He's back from a solid shift with the Canadian national team in the America's Rugby Championship. And the scrum battle that we've seen going on, Cole Keith could be a big factor in that in the second half.
This Toronto side, they've played 6, won 3 and lost 3. 16 points on the table for them. This is their 7th consecutive away match, the most of any team in 2019.
And if you're new to the game and watching and wondering what all the commotion's about, we have some points for you here. Rugby for rookies. 15 active players on the field. 8 of them are reserves on the bench. Offense and defense, both players play. There's no switching. The ball is in transition back and forth.
And there's 5 ways to score in this game, which we'll talk about in just a little bit, but the ball can never go forward. The ball's be passed laterally or backwards, and play continues until there is some foul play or infraction. So you go from offense to defense, transition all the time.
Taking the field right now, the visiting side, and those are the 5 ways to score you mentioned.
A try is the ball over the line with downward pressure put on the floor. A conversion is the kick through the post afterwards, which is taken in line from where the try was scored.
And you have a penalty kick, which is worth 3 points in the middle of the field. If a penalty is called, they can go for a kick. And a drop kick, not seen very often. Any player can just put a drop kick in and get 3 points out of it. And then a penalty try. If one team impedes the other when they would have definitely scored, the referee can just award that try and that score with no problem.
So here come the home side, New York. 2 tries from Dylan Fawcett has put them up by 1 point against Toronto. Andrew Ferguson, the try scorer for the Arrows. So the team now with a win behind their back, the New York side, here in beautiful Coney Island.
You get a great look at John Quill there wearing the number 6. He approaches his rugby like a bare-knuckle boxer. So look for him to come in this half, all abrasive, all emotion, and he's going to put it on the line for this New York team.
Big opportunity here now. The game is in the balance. We've seen the game so far has been dictated by territory, possession. Rooney with the win behind them now will look to exit from their half and play large parts of it down here in Toronto's half and reverse what was done for them for big parts of the game.
New York played 5-1-4. They've only lost 1 fixture so far, and it was against the Seattle Seawolves in Week 5, 33-21. The rest have beaten the Legion, NOLA, Sabercats, the Warriors. And right now, they are up by that slender 1 point margin. All is in readiness as Scott Green, our referee, gets ready to take the whistle for this one. The Toronto side, well, they split their home games when they eventually do have them between 2 stadiums. York Alumni Stadium, they'll host for their first 4 matches at Lamport Stadium. Their last 4.
In position.
Their final match, they will face the New York team on June 2nd up in Canada. So here we go, the men in white, the Great White North, kicking off from right to left in your screen. New York to receive this. Good clean take. Involved there is Trevor Cassidy.
Can we have them all there?
Seasoned rugby traveller, played with Villagers in Cape Town, as well as the West Bulldogs in Brisbane, Australia. They have it at the back with Quill. Mike Petrie, author of R's for Rugby, a children's book, breaks away. Petrie shows him how's it done, and Foden, the fullback. Highly experienced veteran, gets his side back on the front foot. Martina at first receiver, wearing 14. Rochefort. Loop around from Martina. Space closes pretty quickly, but helping out there is James Denise.
Yep, that's my name.
Cassidy, the 31-year-old, yet again. Hume at first receiver, he loves to step. Gets to the first tackle. Rob Brower, though, brings him down. New York start this half after Mike Tolkien's halftime talk for his side. Turning it back in, another big contact there. Breakley, men from Massachusetts. Early touches for everybody. Dummy throw in there from Paddy Ryan. Made his debut against Ireland in June 2017 at Red Bull Arena. Not far from here, that one has been knocked on.
And that was a great passage of play there from New York. If you look at that passage of play, they have something called ruck efficiency. When they go into contact, the ball comes out a little quicker than it does for this Toronto team. It allows them to play faster and move the ball around the park quicker, and they showed it right there. Yeah,
that's coming from getting on the front foot, winning the collisions, and getting over the gain line there. It was very impressive to see them sort of take charge of the game. And, you know, unfortunate error here after a good carry from Breakley. Turn of play, Martina with the ball back inside, another carry on the front foot. This is all the things Rooney needs to be doing well down here, but they just lose direction a little bit. Hands from the props, still playing in the right areas of field. The error comes, I think, now as they play the ball out the back. Hume steps up at 10. Hesitates for a second, pulls that ball out the back, and just maybe with the wind, it gets a little bit away from him. That's a ball that's cost up that they shouldn't really be doing. If they hold on to the ball there, they will get rewarded either through a penalty or through a try, as we've seen so far in this game.
And you got to imagine Coach Tolkien's talk at halftime was, "Come on, guys, what are we doing? We're not playing like ourselves here." And that was a little showcase of how this New York team can play.
Well, the Toronto side, coached by Aaron Carpenter, Corey Hector, and Peter Smith. We know they have a watch party going on right now, just north of the border at the Irish Embassy Pub and Grill. So hello if you're tuning into this broadcast. Wonderful to have Canada
make sure we get our
Major
alignment
League Rugby.
And we get our stability.
Side, Toronto, they're doing extremely well so far in the opening stages.
No, it's not good enough, mate.
They have to reset this
No,
scrum.
I need some more.
Corps business has really been an error of the first half.
Go.
Referee said he wants stability and he wants alignment. And the first thing he wasn't happy with the alignment. He doesn't want head-on-head players on this big on each other. He wants heads in clear channels so we get a smoothless engage, so hopefully we can get the ball playable. He's not happy with what's been going on at scrum time today.
So inside their half, Toronto.
We're slipped in the far side. It's not me that's doing it. It's you guys that are doing it. You're pre-engaged.
Again, good messaging from the referee there. You know, he's keeping them honest. He's letting them know what's going on. And Corbs, you're 100% right.
Very clear and concise. Again, now he's done them for pre-engage. What that means is he doesn't want them already bound on and leaned in before he calls the set call. He wants you to get your binds, put your feet back, and keep that bit of space to have space for the engage. You don't want pre-engage here. It's against the rules, and that's why he reset that there.
Bind! Sit!
It's Toronto side. Welcome back, Lucas Rumble.
Keep it up!
Screen with a ponytail. This one better. The ball does come out. Nay has a chance now. Marshall looking to attack. They work that short side. Dutois goes wide. Mieres cuts in. Beautiful work from Mieres. Also was involved in the America's Rugby Championship. Quick hands. They go to the midfield. The Arrows looking alive. Ball comes out the back for Spencer Jones, a 21-year-old.
Wait, boys,
New Zealand. Eligible for New Zealand and Canada. Just outside the 22. Good passage of play from the visiting side. Strong tackle on Mike Shepherd. Nowhere to go, so they cut back in. Malcolm, the Flav sets things up. Bustling forward. Mitchell, started playing rugby at 5 years old. The experienced front row player. They're told to leave possession. Here they go again. Better line. Cutting through there. Shepherd yet again. Good support from the big Jack Nay. Numbers. Try to cut back in. Jones nowhere through, but they're inside the 22. The Arrows persist. Down by 1.
And New York really has to be careful not to commit a penalty here. This has been trouble for them throughout the game. They have to keep their discipline.
Ball comes out the back. Good tackle, offload. It's try. Forward or no? No try awarded. Giuseppe Dutois has struck at the right moment, but Sam Malcolm created that, and it's magic for the Arrows.
Fantastic try there for Toronto, just getting on the front foot. When they get on the front foot, they generate quick ball. That ball gets recycled from the rucks. It gives the offense an opportunity to have the advantage because they have more time to reset and get organized. The defense are scrambling, and it was just phase after phase of pressure.
Well, taking a look here as they go. They move it out quickly from the 9, and they got runners coming from a couple of different directions there. And just a little pop-up to Dutois, and he runs a beautiful line, which means he just changes the way he was going, finds a space between those New York defenders, dots that down, no problem, untouched.
Conversion is successful. It's a wonderful response, and that's their second try. Dutois' line was magic. And the visiting team stretched their legs. And there'll be a couple of injuries. Let's go field side now to Matt.
Yeah, I spoke to head coach Mike Tolkien of New York just before the start of the second half, and they are a bit paper thin in the back line, particularly. They're down to Marcus Walsh, and it looks like Mike Sinclair as subs there. But if they continue the way they go, if they continue the way they want to open it up down and play a little champagne rugby to make you happy.
Well, let's see what they do. The ball comes for a counter-attack here. Martina has it. Hume, the hot stepper, as he's done on the Sevens World Series, cuts up. There it is. Pop the bottle. Fossett over the top. Intercepted. Mieres just at the right place at the right time. Foden was looking up to see if he had open space in front of him. And 18-12 the score. The Arrows do well to avoid. Just outside the 22. The men in white keep it tight. Shepherd is there, first receiver, as a box kick comes in from Ferguson. It's quite deep, so chance again for Luke Hume. This time, he steps right into the pavement, and there's a massive pothole as he goes down. Cutting back in. It's New York with Will Leonard. Leonard been very active today as a 23-year-old. And they concede a penalty, though, at the breakdown.
Hey.
And that was 2 big Luke Hume returns that didn't work out for him.
Big turnover there for Toronto, relieves pressure. And this is what Rooney did well. Hume stepping so well, offloads to force it, and that ball just floats in the wind that little bit. Got to be careful there. The intercept from Toronto, and they clear their lines. But you know, Rooney looked very dangerous off counter-attack today. They've just got to hold on to the ball. They're constantly turning over, you know, John, a phase too early, just as they're getting down there in the 22. If they can just retain possession, few more phases, few more completions, I think they'd be a lot better.
Agreed. Real push pass there. They just held on to that. Maybe one another phase, they would have had no problem. Now it's Toronto's penalty going back the other way. And what they're going to do is they're going to push the ball as far downfield as they can get to get out of that wind, to play in that other half, and to try to put another try in or get some more points against this New York team.
No secret, I think, what Toronto are going to try and do here. They're going to keep it tight, be physical, try and generate that quick ball when the ball comes out of this maul, and get their attack on the front foot and through Sam Malcolm again.
Steve Ing goes in off the bench wearing 16. Good throw from him. Rumble is the recipient. Or at the back, so not going forward. Ferguson sets it away, and they've dropped that to Trois. Scored a brilliant try just a moment ago, but now it's a chance for New York to clear their lines.
Big error there for Toronto. Unforced, really. Good pressure from Rooney, not making it easy, scrapping it out, but that was just an unforced error there, and it coughs the ball back to Rooney and gives them opportunity to sort of relieve pressure from their own half, hopefully get a good scrum here and get back down in the key area of the field.
We drive straight.
We're going to go back.
I'll give you this. Yeah.
We're going to go back and take a look at big hits come in this game sometimes. There's Luke Hume, steps off his left foot and just runs right into the big man, Morgan Mitchell, and he's going to win that battle every time. Luke can step, and he can get through some players, but if he gets caught front on like that, those are the kind of hits you're going to see from a big fella like Morgan Mitchell.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons some of the players prefer sevens. Not as many big bodies out there as Neil Cabot at the back. They get a penalty, a great scrum.
Big scrum from Rooney there. Paddy Ryan, Rochford all on the front foot there, getting that sort of chase, getting forward. That means that Toronto are going backwards, swinging around the side, infringing in rugby rules, and that is a well-earned penalty there for Rooney.
Ben Foden puts them downfield. This one, flag is out, so they'll get the line out. Stunning kick from the veteran fullback.
It's a big kick there. That's what you get when you have 34 caps for England. Fantastic kick there on the outside of the boot as well, and that gives them great field position for Rooney to go out there and launch this attack.
And I'd look for Fawcett to be involved in this attack pretty quickly. They'll probably get to the back to him again. Scoring a third try from 30 meters out, not so sure, but they're going to try to push this and get some go forward against this Toronto team.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That maul has been working all day, but a big turnover there.
Well, it's a tricky one for Petrie to take down, so Toronto drive all over this one. They scoop it up nicely. Getting involved there is Ing. They keep ball in hand and then finally go towards the touchline. This one won't go out. Foden is there. Fires it back to Luke Hume. Good catch from Hume. He drills it downfield. It's with Sean Windsor. Windsor back in field. Malcolm now. Wide ball. Mires. Gaston Mires can certainly motor. Draws a couple. And he finds replacement Colby Francis on the field. Francis sets up play as they hammer it up with Rob Brower. 9 international appearances for Canada. They keep it to the short side, and it's the fly-off yet again. Malcolm involved. Play with the Hurricanes in the under-20s. Wonderful program in New Zealand. Still there. Quick ball for Ferguson. Not the best looking pass, so they shoved it along. Up by those 6 points. Ferguson spots runners running through, so looks for a dummy initially. The visiting side now send Mitchell. Strong on D and strong on the carries as well. Switch ball. They bring in Spencer Jones. Jones, a lovely carry from him. DeTwan Jones have certainly impressed. It's the width of the attack. Windsor involved. Mires. Back to Mires again. The pass has gone forward. They thought they were away. And Colby Francis getting involved as well.
Big missed opportunity there. Love what Toronto are doing there. They had a little bit of slow ball. getting a few sort of tight phases, but then playing the ball out the back here, exposed a lot of space on the outside of Rooney, but unfortunately it was a forward pass there. One pass, if that was backwards, might have been a try.
And you just see what Toronto's capable of. They can just play phase after phase after phase and grind it down until some space appears. That's what they did right there. A little unlucky forward pass for them, or it would have been another 5-pointer for this Arrows team.
Open up.
Mike Petrie and his side need to weather this early storm.
Yeah.
Petrie has coached
Boys.
rugby at Xavier High School for
6.
many years, a teacher by trade as
Steady,
well.
keep it up.
Through and through New Yorker, represented the United States 57 times. Good hard drive up midfield with Will Leonard.
You hold
Petrie
in
claiming
there.
for the ball here.
It was hot in there. You stay there, 7. Step 7. Stay out. No, 7.
Now finally he gets it to Foden. Foden under immense pressure. Mires.
Mires wants to play.
Flag is up though.
You hold it.
This is what I like from Toronto here. You know, they've been getting a few slow phases. The forwards carrying here, starting to chip away at the Rooney defense, sucking them in. Finally, once they've sucked them in with a quick ruck, instead of taking it nice and direct through the forwards, they eventually start to expose that space on the outside. That ball out the back catches out the forwards there. One pass there and that is a try. That is what Toronto need to do well out here. That is exposing space on the edge and being very clever.
Let's see what New York have in store for us here. Onto the field as well for them. Callum McIntosh. Breakley peels it away. Martina, Leonard. Not scared to mix it up with the big forwards. That one slipped as they were trying to pass it. So Toronto take possession. Ferguson. Big tackles coming in Rumble. They go to the right-hand side. Ball is still there with Peter Milazzo, the 22-year-old. Petrie comes flying up on Rumble, but it's advantage for the visiting side. One of their players lies on the ground hurt. Dutois goes wide. Dan Moore. Moore works the fend, but Leonard brings him down. Ferguson gets the pass away. Hume tries to help out, but Paul Cellini. Advantage is over now for the Toronto side. Mir is in at 9. Moore getting involved. Still just 6 points the difference. 15 minutes gone in the second half. Over the top, Cellini yet again, second time.
This is going to be too familiar position for this New York team. Deep inside their own zone, defending, this just takes a lot of energy out of it. With the injuries they have and a bit of a light bench right now, they need to turn this ball over.
Great carry there from Morgan Mitchell again. Ferguson digs this one out. They want to go wide. Moore now. Throws the dummy. New York don't bite for that one. Still tremendous defense. Rumble at a standing start. But plenty of support with white jerseys. Ing. Good carry from the player who played with Kipolano in the British Columbia Premiership. Ball is there, and they get a penalty.
And it was bound to happen after all that pressure.
We all saw it. I saw it. They saw it.
Referee saying it was obvious. Off your feet at the ruck there. You've got to support your own body weight and give him a good shape if you're going to compete for that ball. But that's just a symptom of the pressure that Rooney have been under. When you're constantly defending, trying to chase rucks, trying to find a way to relieve that pressure, that's when you infringe, and Toronto are awarded again with another penalty.
And they're pointed towards the post. They're going to go for a kick here for those 3 points. And what they're looking for is to extend this beyond just a one-try game, beyond one score. We're just going to make it just a harder road for New York going into these last 20 minutes.
Yeah, away from home rugby, we always used to say build a score. Build a score. Don't always worry about the tries. We saw Toronto taking the penalty kicks early, going for that mancha here again. Just going to chip away at this lead, try and build some breathing room, and then turn the pressure on Rooney. And Rooney really need to respond after this.
Sam Malcolm pops this one over, raises the flags. 21 points to 12. 57 minutes gone. The visiting side, the Toronto Arrows, lead New York.
It's going to be interesting going into these last 20 minutes to see how these teams respond. If you look at the statistics from over the season, New York has scored a lot more points in the final 20 minutes than has Toronto. And Toronto has let in some more points in those last 20. So if New York can pick up their game here, they certainly are still in this one.
Yeah, the Toronto side, as you mentioned last week, they did have a good come-from-behind victory against the San Diego Legion. They were down 20 points to 3, ended up winning 27-20. But they have been inconsistent at times. They win one week and lose the next. Martina goes deep. Mieres, Gaston Mieres, one of the most experienced players on this field. 66 caps for Uruguay and 56 starts. Kick towards the touchline. There's Malcolm, a good clearance finder.
Very good exit there from Toronto, getting out of their half efficiently, and that's what you want to do. You don't want to be camped down in your own half, playing too many phases. Like we've seen Rooney cough up the ball once or twice. It can be very costly. Very quick, efficient, up to the halfway line. Smart play from Toronto.
And we have a change for New York that you just saw. James Denise has come on for James Denise has been subbed for Matt Houston. Matt Houston, the Charlotte native, is a great open side flanker. Look for him to get involved in this game pretty quick.
Set piece from New York. Solid contact in midfield. Now Martina spreads it wide yet again. Foden tries to follow in as Leonard has another carry. Even though there's extra width on this field, Toronto side are doing well sliding on defense. Fawcett. Martina flat ball. A big tackle on Trevor Cassidy. Back to the short side they work. Houston now, first touch for him. 2018 made the All Major League Rugby second side. Field there too with Anthony Perry. Played rugby at New York Athletic Club. Moore goes back to collect this. Dan Moore didn't have initially a lot of support, but he's done well. A couple players on him. But given away possession has the New York side.
Stay there. Stay there.
So the Arrows with Ferguson, Ing in support, kick it over the top. Foden, well positioned. The fullback, slicing and dicing, hit slightly high. Then they played Rugby World Cup 2011 and won the Six Nations, and here they go. Fawcett yet again. New York back on the front foot. Martina, flat ball. Parry there involved. Martina yet again. They want to up the speed of this game. Leonard, he dipped down in that tackle, but a referee Green has spotted a high tackle, as we mentioned, on Foden early in the play.
Little trouble here for this New York team as Mark O'Keefe is being attended to by the medical staff. We'll see if he has to come out of this game. He's had a great game as usual, a big, strong runner. And they're going to take a moment to look at him.
He seems to be in some pain, but that high tackle coming from another Foden break on the counter-attack, that has really been one of Rooney's big sources of impressiveness today, is when they get a poor kick fielded with not a good chase from Toronto, they will punish them. They need more of that. Pressure Toronto in the half, get a bad kick back and run it down there and get good field position like this.
We're going to take another short break in this clash. Stay with us. It's the New York side. They trail 21 points to 12 against Toronto Arrows.
It's in this pocket yeah. Yeah. One, two, 1, 2. We good now? 1, 2, 2.
It's a beautiful evening, Friday Night Lights here in Brooklyn, New York. The visiting side, though, Toronto lead 21 points to 12 against New York. We have a big 20 minutes left in this clash. The historic home opener. And you see the fans supporting well, known as the Roosters for the home side. Certainly enjoying the try scored here by the Butcher. Dylan Fawcett, 2 for them, but 2 as well from Ferguson and Giuseppe Detroit for the Toronto side.
Hands up, mate. Hold on.
We're going to resume with that penalty on Ben Foden, a high tackle. So a chance for his side, and again, they don't offer the 3 points. They want to keep the ball going, especially their line-up maul.
It was a high tackle.
Yeah, chasing the lead here now as well, and the maul has been such a weapon for them. So with Foden's boot getting them down close to that try line, they know it's another opportunity for them to go out there and try and get a try, because they are chasing this game, and that makes them a little bit more desperate and take a bit more chance.
Yeah, I would back them to go for Fawcett for his third right here. Try to roll this one over, and you're absolutely right, Corbs. They need these points. They are chasing this game just a little bit. They've made it hard for themselves. They could really use this.
Yeah, you just need to make sure they win the line out first. You know, we've seen one not straight. The last one was scrappy ball. That's got to be the big emphasis of Rooney here right now, is make sure we win that ball, get it set, get the ball to the back to Fawcett, and let the forward muscle do its work. And if they get that right, they should be in real good stead.
And the coaching staff looks on Mike Tolkien, Kiers Lensing, Tefei, and Vili Vakasisi Kakale as they get things set up for the line out. Dylan Fawcett, former player with the Old Blue of New York as well.
Let me get the sorted. Come in, Blue. Yeah, this guy.
We had a little update on O'Keefe. He's just got a little whack to the nose there. He's going to be okay. They've cleaned him up, and he's ready to rumble again.
9 points the difference. Full line out. This one's been tipped by Toronto. So they win this one. The ball is a bit loose, so Mires tries to go back and collect this. They're right near their own try line. Ball there for fullback Windsor. Look for a clearance kick.
Be on, boys, back.
For Toronto. Ferguson goes deep.
White stays.
Malcolm,
Good work.
big kick into touch.
Get out of jail right there for Toronto. A mistake.
And let's go down to Matt, who's with James Denise, who just left the field.
Yeah, a couple of Jersey boys here. James Denise now living in Lyndhurst in the shadows of Giant Stadium. James, you were out a while with getting something fixed. What was that?
Yeah, I got hip surgery on both my hips. You know, getting an old man now.
Hip reshaping.
Yes, sir. FAI surgery.
You didn't look anything like an old man out there. You guys it was frustrating for you guys in the first half. Some injuries kind of damaged the team, not being able to execute the way you want. But now you're in there, and what do you think is going to happen going forward?
Well, hopefully we just put out the phases, break down their defense, and find a gap. I mean, when you got guys like Foden, Hume, and just Gavin now, hopefully we find a seam and wear him down and get a try.
All right, my friend. Best of luck to the rest of the match and the season. Cheers. Back to you guys.
And they're back in attacking mode. New York looking for that try line, hammering forward. It's tremendous effort so far. They're over the line. There's this one being grounded. Referee Green is right there. Ross Deacon piled in with one of his teammates underneath the sticks, and this is decision time here for our officials.
It'd be great to see Deacon get a try here. Deacon carries the ball the most of anybody on this Rooney team, and he is everywhere. You don't really hear his name a lot coming out of Dallin's mouth, but I can tell you Coach Tolkien sees where he is and sees how much he adds to this team. It'd be great to see him get awarded this.
And the ball is off the ground. Did you see anything different than that? No?
The forwards working superbly there in tandem. Referee Green is going to check with his officials.
Mikey.
He's called in Captain Mike Tolkien to have a word. And let's listen in to see what Green has for us.
Hey, I've seen no clear grounding. When I came around, it was held up. My ARs have seen nothing. So what we're going to do, I can't award the try, so I haven't seen a grounding. We're going to go 5 metre attacking scrum for Blue. Okay, if I've got it wrong, I apologise.
Referee deemed it's not a try here. We're trying to have a look if Ross Deacon gets that ball planted on the ground with downward pressure. Not conclusive enough for the referee to give the try. Therefore, he's pulling it back for the 5 metre scrum. It could have happened in that first little touchdown, but if you can't see it on video evidence and he wasn't sure at the before, he cannot award the try. So a tough one for Rooney there, but they get another fantastic attacking platform. But they really need to start converting his opportunities to get back into this game.
Deacon seemed pretty sure about that one, but of course he was gonna. He wanted that score.
You always got to sell it to the referee, especially when they're not quite sure there. You always act like you score. You know, you can't play all the tricks there, and a veteran like him, that's part of the game.
I understand.
And the work there from James Rochford as well to push his teammate over the line was excellent. We see some substitutes coming in here, and Tom Dolezal wearing 17 and Riley Denaro 21 for the Toronto side. They take action back on the field, the replacement players. And so it will be Mike Petrie and his home side with possession. They trail by 9. Talk about moments in this game. If they need a score, it's right now.
And you can hear the crowd just starting to cheer on Petrie and his boys.
You guys in. Reset it.
Referee not happy there. He's got a few new faces at scrum time. He's got to lay down the law again and tell them what he wants. He wants that alignment. Everyone's squaring steady, but the big thing is, I think, the pre-engage. He's not happy with both teams leaning on and actually binding up before the ball is in. It's not part of the rules here, and he's trying to police that so we get a good contest at scrum time.
Ben Foden, the first receiver, wearing 15 on that right-hand side. Matina on the left. Here they go. Crowd back at it. And the reset yet again. It's been the issue all night so far.
Another reset scrum that looked like the 17 from Toronto at fault there. His knee touched the ground on the engage. A good engage from Rooney there, but referee not on that side to see it. The touch official on the side is quite far away. A big call to make from there, so he's going to come round to see what's going on and reset it again.
Third time lucky.
Stay straight.
13 minutes to go in this clash.
Crouch.
Petrie just looks around. Plenty of options for his team. Deacon at the back. Almost scored on the last occasion. He picks and goes. Ross Deacon hammers into a couple of tacklers.
Here, stay here, White.
They pick and drive. Fawcett is there in support. So is Matt Houston.
16.
Inching forward. Houston. Now Petrie. Trying to slip through is Matina. They get his ankles.
Yes, you still have advantage.
It's still advantage for New York. Petrie has a crack himself to Deacon.
Advantage wide offside.
Offside play from Toronto. Arm is out from referee Green.
Last week, boys, thank you.
Might as well chance something here with that advantage. Petrie sets a couple of forwards who get knocked backwards. Cassidy, first receiver, he wants to pick up with John Quill. Petrie, now they work it to the right-hand side. Matina, Foden, straight away fires it away. Good tackle coming in there on Leonard, but nothing happening, so they'll come back to the original penalty.
Good pressure from Rooney there. 2 infringement from Toronto. Now have to make a big decision of what they do. Do they go for the corner and try and back their maul? Do they scrum again for another platform? They're getting on the game, over the gain line, hunting in packs as forwards in that pick and go game, but they're just quite, inches away from crossing that line. It looks like Foden's going for the corner. They smell blood at the maul. If they can win this line out, they've lost a few key ones. If they win it, they know they're on for the try from this sort of range.
I was going to say they've had a couple of wobbly ones coming from in this part of the field, so they really have to hit this. And Toronto's done a good job disrupting their lineup. They're getting some people up there in front of them.
Toronto have one of the best defensive lineouts in the league, and they really are pressuring to New York. New York trying to take a quick, easy, timed ball straight to the man, and there's not a lot of deception there, and Toronto are getting up and really testing the throw.
Fawcett, though, accurate on this occasion. They've scored 2 in the first half in this fashion. Ball at the back. Crowd getting involved. Fawcett has it. Are they swimming in from the side, or is that legal? Green says play on. Just short of the line. It still stays with New York.
Let it come right, thank you.
Petrie wants to dig this one out. They're in the red zone, so close to the try line. Rochford. No way through for him. Perry helping out as well. Houston. Still pick and drive. Meters away. Punching it in, it's a try! Terrific scenes. It's number 3 for New York. And is it Deacon? Brakely. Nate Brakely gets up with the goods. He's got himself 5 points in this game just when his team needed him.
They've been banging on that door, John, banging and banging away, and finally the down burst. You know, they were eating up valuable minutes on the clock, but finally they got the reward for it. And just really good forward play. They almost got it from the line out, but now in this pick and go area, that was the muscle from the forwards.
And you saw Brakely, Dartmouth grad, USA Eagle, very intelligent player. He just spotted that little gap, shot right through it, and they got that 5 points that they really needed.
Well, especially the crowd too, coming out supporting their home side. Very confident finish to the first half. They took a 12-11 lead, and then Giuseppe Detroit and Malcolm had other things to say. Conversion attempt from Matina. Goes to the touchline. Tricky kick, and so he keeps it to the side. It's 21 points to 17 right now, 4 points in this ball game.
We have a fascinating last 8 minutes coming up here. This is the kind of game you want to see. This is not the kind of game a coach wants. They'd rather see a few more points and a good win on the board, but we're going to have a great 8 minutes of rugby out here.
It's really heating up well, and this is it now. Whoever scores next probably wins the game, so big emphasis on getting in the right areas of the field and actually holding on to that ball.
Here it comes to New York. Fawcett upfield. Their side have scored 3, Toronto just 2, but of course the 3 penalties from Sam Malcolm have kept the visitors in this game.
Right there.
Strong defense yet again.
Out.
Ball is still available. They have to protect this.
Okay,
The New York side. Houston comes in at ruck time. Now replacement player Marcus Walsh wearing 21. Takes Mike Petrie's position.
We're on the side.
Kick for the touchline. Still give attacking line out here for the Toronto side.
Good clearance from Foden there. Rooney have to exit well out of their half, and they've done that there. I know the game is in the balance, but you don't want to overplay in your own half and cough up more points here. So it was a smart move to go back to Foden's boot and get out of there instead of trying to dig themselves out a hole from 80 meters out.
Very smart, because you have to give that Toronto defense credit for the pressure they put on them down there. They really couldn't get anything going. Smart to move that out of there, but good play by Toronto to keep it down in that part of the field. Now they have a line out.
They go to Rumble at the front. Good throw there by Ing. On the field is Cole Keith as well, the 21-year-old with 2 caps for Canada. 12 caps, in fact. The ball is still there for the Arrows. Now they peel away. Cellini getting involved there as well.
White's going forward.
They've taken it in, so they keep possession to the Toronto team.
Just a little mistake there from this New York team. And it's going to be another scrum and a good position inside that New York half, where they want to play the game, Toronto.
Please.
Let's hear from Kim now, who has Mike Petrie, the local legend.
An absolute legend. Welcome, Mike. So tell us, what do the boys need to do to bring this home?
Hey, we got like 4 minutes on the clock here. You know, we gotta pick up the tempo a little bit. You know, credit to Toronto, they've kept us under a lot of pressure. You know, we just got to get on the front foot here. You know, we're playing out of our half right now, and we just got to get ourselves on the front foot, keep the ball in hand, and be patient, because you know 4 minutes is actually a lot of time. So.
Great. Thanks so much. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Thanks, guys.
Mike Petrie will hate to be on the sideline there, but of course he knows that his side have what it takes to finish strong.
Yeah, it's a tough balance here, and he's hit the nail on his head. Patient, you know, you don't want to overplay on your own half, but you also need a sense of urgency here. Defending down in your own half, Rooney are going to have to start trying to make something happen. Try and force a turnover. Come up with some offensive line speed, maybe an intercept. Something right now they have to start forcing Toronto's hand. It's a tough tightrope to walk when you're chasing a score, but you've got to be smart.
Replacement coming onto the field there as well is Tom Van Horn, 28-year-old. His brother Josh is in the squad as well for the Toronto side. And feeding this is Donardo, 23-year-old from Saudi Arabia who lives in Toronto. Our clock has About 7 minutes to go. So penalty, and there it is. New York take possession, and they will surely kick this one downfield.
I'll go to Corbs for the technical part of that scrum right there, but look at the excitement on those players.
That is a front row's dream there. Your team's on the line. You need to get the ball back. You need to turn it over, and up steps number 3, Paddy Ryan, putting the pressure on there. The loose head infringing. That's a big scrum from Rooney there, and just giving them valuable field possession that Foden could put them down there. Huge kick to give this game a real dramatic finish.
And I think we'd all know what to expect from this set of forwards from Rugby United New York at the 22 of this Toronto team. I think we're going to see the ball in Dylan Fawcett's hands yet one more time.
Well, here we go. The defense from Toronto. Disrupted a couple of lineouts. What do we have in store here? Dylan Fawcett, this is your time to shine. Down by 4 points. Full line out, goes to the back. Quill is there. The Eagle sensation has it as the maul is set. They rumble into the 22. Welsh is there, telling his troops to get involved. They have advantage to New York. It's positive. A breakout. Close to the line. Walsh was the one that had the initial snipe, and here they go with Houston. They're within 5. New York with Deacon. Can't get around the first. They go low on him. Marcus Walsh gets the forward surging for the line. Still available. Parry. Houston so active since coming on. Hume with a fan. Can't get free. Luke Hume. Moore has him. They're going to come back. It's still going to be with Ben Foden on his side.
So close for Luke Hume right there. That Toronto defense just closed down that little bit of space on him, or a try was coming there for the New York team. But great work to move it out. And they're coming back, and they got the penalty anyway.
Got the penalty at the maul there. Side entry. Rooney going for the corner again here now. Ben Foden entrusting his forwards to go get the job done. They smell blood in the water there. They are putting Toronto on the back foot, under pressure. Now they're even shorter range from the try line. This is a big moment in the game.
Well, can't get any bigger than this. You mentioned it. Here we go. Mike Tolkien must certainly be anxious watching his side. First game at home ever in history. They trail by 4, but the line-out is something special. It goes up to Deacon, and now they drive. 5, 4, 3, 2. They're over. Held up, says our referee.
Hard luck there off a great drive. Looked like for all the money they were in for that one. But they're going to come back and have an attacking scrum.
Small margins define big games, and is that the margin that defines it? It looked like it was good. Once you see Fawcett with the ball at the back here, you think it is try time. It is on, but to me that is a penalty try. There's a clear Toronto tackle trying to take the ball down in front. That's what stops it there. I think the referee might have missed that one there, but you know, now New York have to have the scrum. It's deemed held up. They have to go again.
3.5 minutes to go in this clash. Edge of your seat stuff. The replacement, Marcus Walsh from Dublin, Ireland. And of course, we're going to reset. Bodies go to ground.
Not what Rooney want. Don't want to eat up more time on the clock here. They want to get this ball in, either push them over the line or get the ball out and play. It's all coming with stability on the engage. If you look here, Rocheford's moved the tight head. He's up against the replacement loose head. Short binds from both props mean that both men losing their bind there. A little bit of movement. No one can chase their feet and stay in a good position, and we're getting it straight to ground. The referee's got to get those binds up and stop that movement before they engage.
The try will win this for New York. It'll also give them a bonus point for scoring 4. New New York skate backwards, but they have advantage as Deacon picks up. His pack was going back, so he did well. Welsh looking for players to loop around, and Houston, they're all over this though. Helping in them is Milazzo. New York send their forwards driving around the fringes. It's still available. It's only a matter of time. Welsh gets in. Now they go wider. Matina has a crack himself. Still so close. Deacon picks and drives yet again. Arm is out from referee Green. Looks like another advantage. Rooney is being chanted by the fans. Plenty of space if they want to take it to the backs. The dummy. A wall of white jerseys as New York pile in. 1 minute to go. They're over! The Empire strikes back! It's John Quill has done it for his side in spectacular fashion. They never gave up.
Big try there from New York. When the chips are on the line, they've come out there and delivered. Huge try, huge moment. They've been knocking on the door for 5 minutes down in there. They had to come away with the points, and that could be the game-deciding moment.
We said it before, John Quill just approaches this game like a bare-knuckle boxer, and look at him here. He does not like to lose. He's got lots of experience he brings to this team, and he just saw it right there. That defense had to give sooner or later, and John Quill gets the rewards as Rooney taking the lead.
Fawcett did the damage there with the quick pick, and then Quill exposing that space there with the quick pick and go. That's the real key there for Rooney, is successive 1-2 punches like a boxer. You go one fast, second one you follow up with a big shot, and that was the recipe.
And as the season's gone on, we've seen Rugby United New York shred some teams out wide and play really well. They've had to just go toe-to-toe today and get this game done with a lot of pick and goes.
And Matina this time adds the extras. Delighted the crowd, but you're so right about that. It's the full-time whistle as well. Dramatic scenes here from New York. They have done it in the final play of the game and defeated Toronto. Unbelievable stuff from the home team. They make history in their very first ever professional fixture here at MCU Park in Brooklyn, New York. And we will be right back. Stay with us, rugby fans. It's New York 24, Toronto 21 from the Big Apple. Welcome back to MCU Park. We've witnessed one of the tightest finishes in Major League Rugby as New York get it done. 24-21 against Toronto. They celebrate, but it was the engine room up front that got it done. Nate Brakely was fantastic, getting involved in everything. All around the park, he punches one in here, and for that and the rest of his performance, he wins our Man of the Match honors. A tremendous effort from the hard-working, intelligent forward, involved with the USA Eagles and involved with Rugby United New York. And Matt McCarthy is now fieldside with the Man of the Match.
Nate, we spoke at halftime. You were a little bit tense. You're smiling now. Exciting win. 4 tries for the forwards. Have you had a more exciting win?
I mean, a gritty last-minute try like that to seal it doesn't get much more New York City than that. Just grind it out at the end. So we're all stoked about that. That's fantastic.
Well, you deserve a party tonight. Have a good time, and I know you want to get to the team photo. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you very much. Great blast.
Great stuff down here, guys. Back to you.
Congratulations to Rugby United New York. They have defeated the Toronto Arrows by 24-21 in Week 8 of Major League Rugby 2019, elevating themselves to the top of the standings ahead of the other weekend fixtures. For John Broker, Alex Corbisiero, Matt McCarthy, Kim Orst Howlett, and our entire crew, I'm Dallin Stanford saying thanks for watching. Be safe out there. We'll see you next week, March 24th, as New York take on the Glendale Raptors here at MCU Park.